The ring slips from Minho's fingers in slow motion, bouncing once on the marble floor before rolling toward the growing wall of smoke. He doesn't move to catch it. His eyes are locked on the gallery entrance where Ophelia disappeared 3 minutes ago, where flames now lick the doorframe like hungry tongues, where the screaming has finally stopped, and that silence is so much worse than the chaos that came before it. A firefighter grabs his shoulder, tries to pull him back, but Minho's feet are rooted to the pavement because somewhere in that burning building is the woman who just said yes, the woman he's loved since he was 8 years old, the woman he chose 3 months too late, the woman who might already be dead. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let me take you back to where this all started to fall apart. The Seoul skyline glitters below her like scattered diamonds, cold and beautiful and completely indifferent to the fact that her life is about to implode. Ophelia's hands shake as she grips the rooftop railing of Lee Technologies' tower, her dark skin prickled with goosebumps from the November wind, whipping off the Han River. She's wearing a red dress, the one Minho once said made her look fearless. And she needs that illusion tonight because underneath the silk and confidence her heart is hammering against her ribs like it's trying to escape before she can do what she came here to do. The rooftop door opens behind her and she knows without turning that it's him. She's memorized the sound of his footsteps over 19 years of friendship, can distinguish his breathing pattern in a crowded room, knows the exact rhythm of his presence like a song she's been listening to her entire life. Ophelia. His voice carries that note of concern it always does when he finds her on high places. What are you doing up here? The gala's downstairs, everyone's asking where you went. She turns to face him and the words stick in her throat for a moment because, God, he's beautiful in that tuxedo, his dark hair slightly messed from running his hands through it the way he does when he's stressed. I needed to tell you something, she says, and her voice comes out steadier than she expected. Before tomorrow. Before you announce it and it becomes real and I lose my chance forever. Minho's face does something complicated, a micro-expression she can't quite read. Announce what? Ophelia, what are you talking about? Don't. The word comes out sharp. Don't pretend you don't know. The engagement. You and Jisoo. The merger announcement tomorrow at the Grand Seoul Hotel. Your father had it printed in tomorrow's business section of every major newspaper. He goes very still and she watches the colour drain from his face. You weren't supposed to find out like that. I was going to tell you tonight after the gala. Tell me what, exactly? She's moving toward him now. Tell me how you're marrying Kim Jisoo in 3 months. How long have you been planning your future with someone else while I've been? Her voice cracks. While I've been waiting? You're not pathetic. He reaches for her and she steps back, shaking her head. I'm in love with you. The words tumble out like water breaking through a dam. I have been since we were 16, since you found me after the funeral and didn't say anything stupid about heaven or better places. You just sat with me for 6 hours while I cried. I fell in love with you that day and I've been falling ever since and I can't watch you marry her. So I needed to tell you tonight, before it's too late. The silence that follows is the longest of her life. She counts her heartbeats. 1, 2, 3, 10, 20. Minho just stares at her like she's spoken a language he doesn't understand. Say something, she whispers. Please, anything. You're my best friend. The words sound like they're being dragged out of him. You know this marriage is necessary. It's always about choice, Minho. You're choosing your father's company over me. Choosing 3,000 employees you'll never meet over the girl who knows you take your coffee black because milk reminds you of medicine, who knows you're scared of hospitals because your mother died in one. I know you. And I thought you knew me. He runs both hands through his hair now. The merger isn't just about the company. Your family's media empire is part of this deal. If I don't marry Jisoo, Lee Technologies collapses. Your mother's partnership with Kim Media falls through. Your entire career depends on this marriage. So I'm collateral damage. Acceptable loss in your business strategy. That's not fair. Fair? she's shouting now. You want to talk about fair? Is it fair that you never even asked if I'd be okay watching you marry someone else? I care about you. His voice breaks. More than anyone, you have to know that. But caring isn't enough to what, Minho? Love me. Choose me. She's crying now. I'm asking if there's anything here worth fighting for. He steps closer, and for one wild moment she thinks he's going to kiss her, but he just reaches up to brush a tear from her cheek with his thumb, the gesture so tender it hurts worse than rejection. I think about you all the time, he says quietly. When I close deals, you're the first person I want to call. When something funny happens, I save it to tell you. You're in everything, Ophelia. Everything. Then choose me. She grabs his hand, presses it against her racing heart. Please, I'm standing here begging you. The rooftop door opens with a metallic clang. Kim Jisoo stands in the doorway, backlit by the fluorescent stairwell, her white cocktail dress almost glowing in the darkness. So this is where you disappeared to. Jisoo's voice is cold, controlled. Both of you. People were asking questions, so I came to find you. She walks toward them with measured steps. Did you really think I didn't know about you two? I've known since the engagement was arranged. My father made sure to warn me that Minho had an attachment, the Ashford girl. Ophelia feels Minho tense beside her, but he doesn't speak, doesn't defend her, and that silence is its own answer. You've been engaged since the arrangement. Ophelia's voice sounds distant. That was 3 years ago. You've been engaged to her for 3 years, and you never told me? It wasn't formal, Minho says, but the words sound weak. It was a contract. Jisoo pulls a folded paper from her clutch. Signed by both families. The only thing missing was the ring and the announcement. But make no mistake, Minho has been mine since he was 26 years old. Everything since then has been theatre. She looks at Ophelia with something that might be pity. Did you really think he'd choose you? He's been mine in everything but name for 3 years. Ophelia looks at Minho, waiting for him to deny it, to explain, but he just stands there, his jaw working, saying absolutely nothing. Minho. Her voice breaks on his name. Tell me she's lying. I didn't know how to tell you. The words come out flat, defeated. Every time I tried, I couldn't find the words. I thought maybe if I kept it separate, kept business and personal in different boxes, I could have both. Have me? She tastes bile. Like a mistress. That's not what I meant. Then what did you mean? She's backing toward the rooftop door. Because from where I'm standing, you made your choice 3 years ago, and you've been lying to me ever since. Ophelia reaches the door. She looks back at Minho one last time, memorizing his face because she knows this is the last moment before everything changes forever. You asked if there's anything worth fighting for, Minho says. The answer is yes. Everything between us is worth fighting for, but you're asking me to be selfish, to put what I want above 3,000 people who depend on Lee Technologies, above your own career. That's not strength, Ophelia. That's selfishness. She nods slowly, something inside her calcifying into stone. You're right. It would be selfish. She reaches up, unclasps the delicate bracelet on her wrist, the one he gave her for her 21st birthday, the one she's worn every single day for 6 years. It falls to the concrete with a soft metallic sound. No more debts. No more history. We're even. Ophelia, don't... But she's already gone, the door slamming behind her, her heels echoing down the stairwell as she runs away from the only man she's ever loved. The press conference the next morning is torture dressed up as triumph. Ophelia sits in the 3rd row of the Grand Seoul Hotel ballroom, forced to watch as Chairman Lee announces the historic merger between 3 great families, Lee Technologies, Kim Media, and Ashford International. Her mother sits 2 rows ahead, spine straight, not once turning to look at her daughter. Minho and Jisoo stand on stage looking like they were designed by the same architect, both in elegant black, both smiling those careful smiles wealthy people perfect for cameras. Then Jisoo takes the microphone. Thank you all for being here today. Jisoo's smile is radiant. But my fiancé and I wanted to share something personal before we discuss business. She holds up her left hand, and even from 3 rows back, Ophelia can see the enormous diamond catching the light. We're thrilled to announce not just a corporate merger, but a personal one. Min-ho and I are engaged to be married this spring. The ballroom erupts in applause. Cameras flash. Ophelia's vision narrows to a tunnel, everything going dark except for Min-ho's face, and she watches something flicker across it. Surprise maybe, or panic. But then it's gone and he's smiling. She stands up so fast her chair tips backward with a crash that momentarily silences the room. Everyone turns to look at her. Her mother's face is a mask of fury. Ophelia pushes past the other attendees making for the exit. She can feel hundreds of eyes on her back, can hear the whispers starting. She makes it to the corridor before someone grabs her arm, Min-ho slightly out of breath. Let go of me. Her voice is ice. Ophelia, wait, please. I didn't know she was going to announce it like that. The engagement you're wearing a ring for? Don't pretend you're surprised. This is exactly what you chose. He looks down at his left hand like he's seeing the ring for the first time. She must have planned this. The timing, the announcement. It's not about the announcement. It's about the choice you made last night, the choice you've apparently been making for 3 years. It's not about choosing her over you. It's always about choosing, she's shouting now. You chose your father's company, your family's legacy, your comfortable future where everything is planned and safe. And that's fine. But don't stand here and pretend you're some victim. She removes her Ashford Media Access badge from her blazer. I'm done. His eyes widen. What are you doing? Something I should have done years ago. She drops the badge at his feet. I quit. Ashford Media, the merger, this whole suffocating world. I'm done with all of it. You can't quit. Your mother will disinherit me, will probably disown me. I know, and I don't care anymore. She realizes as she says it that it's true. I spent my whole life trying to be what everyone needed. I'm done waiting. I'm done being patient. Victoria Ashford appears at the end of the corridor like a storm given human form. Ophelia Camille Ashford, you will return to that ballroom right now and apologize. Ophelia looks at her mother and sees a woman who chose empire over everything else. No. Excuse me? I said no. I'm not apologizing. I'm not going back. I'm leaving. If you walk away from this family, you walk away from everything. Your trust fund, your apartment, your position. Then I guess I'm not an Ashford anymore. The words feel like freedom. I'll figure something out. She turns and walks toward the hotel exit, and she doesn't look back. 2 days later, she's at Incheon Airport with 1 suitcase and her camera bag. She's wearing jeans and an old university sweatshirt. Her natural curls free instead of straightened into submission. She looks nothing like the woman who walked into that press conference. Her phone has 43 missed calls from her mother, 17 from Min-ho. She turns it off, drops it in the trash. She'll get a new one in Spain. A new number, a new life. She emails the International Press Agency from the airport Wi-Fi. Subject line, available for assignment. Message, anywhere, anytime. 6 months embedded minimum. The response comes before the plane doors close. Syria crisis. Humanitarian photography. 6-month contract. Interested, she clicks. Accept, and the plane lifts off and Seoul falls away beneath her, and she feels nothing but relief. 6 months later, Ophelia is crouched behind a half-destroyed wall in a Syrian refugee camp, her camera pressed to her eye. Through the lens, she watches a woman roughly her age carry water across the camp, her daughter trailing behind, one leg dragging from an old injury that healed wrong. Ophelia has learned to see beauty in devastation, to find humanity in impossible circumstances. Her hands are scarred now. A shrapnel cut across her left palm, burns on her fingertips. She's lost 15 pounds. She's never been more herself. Beautiful shot. The voice comes from behind her. You're going to win Photographer of the Year. She lowers the camera and turns to look at Daniel Cross, fellow journalist. He's tall and broad-shouldered, British accent softened by years in America. He holds out a tin cup of black coffee. 6 months ago, maybe. Now. These people matter. Awards are just noise. They've been working together for 3 months. He's been obviously interested since week 1. I'm being reassigned, he says. Barcelona Investigative Unit. Human trafficking piece, 6-month minimum. I want you to come with me. Before she can answer, the distinctive whistle of incoming mortars splits the morning air. They both drop instinctively. The explosion comes from the camp's south side, then another closer, and suddenly people are screaming and running. She's up and moving before conscious thought, running toward the smoke because that's who she's become. Daniel shouts her name, but she's already gone. She finds the water woman and her daughter near an overturned container, the mother shielding her child with her body, both covered in dust but miraculously uninjured. Ophelia helps them to their feet, guides them toward the aid station. Only when they're safe does she realize Daniel's hand is on her shoulder, that he followed her into danger without hesitation. You're insane, he says, but he's smiling. Says the man who ran after me? Is that a yes? Barcelona? She looks around the camp, at the smoke clearing, at the life already resuming its desperate rhythm. She's given this place 6 months. Maybe it's time to tell different stories. Okay, she says. Barcelona. 2 months in Barcelona and the email arrives. Solo exhibition offer. Museum of Contemporary Art, Barcelona. One of Europe's most prestigious galleries offering her 3 months to prepare a collection, full funding, international press coverage. Daniel's response when she tells him is simple. You deserve it. I'm proud of you. They're in a coffee shop near the Gothic Quarter when he says, There's something I need to tell you. Before the exhibition, before things get complicated. Her heart rate picks up. Daniel, I'm in love with you. The words come out steady, certain. I have been since Syria. I'm not asking you to say it back. I just need you to know that someone sees you, really sees you, and you're extraordinary. The coffee shop seems to shrink around them. Ophelia feels something crack open in her chest, some last piece of armor she didn't know she was still wearing. I don't know what to say, she manages. You don't have to say anything. He reaches across the table, covers her hand with his. I just wanted you to know. She turns her hand over, laces her fingers through his, and feels how easy it would be to fall into this, to let Daniel love her, to build something stable and real. It's not the desperate, consuming passion she felt for Minho. It's something gentler, safer. Maybe that's what she needs. The gallery opening is 3 months later. Ophelia barely recognizes herself in the mirror. She's wearing a black dress that actually fits, her natural curls styled professionally. She looks like someone who belongs here. The photographs on the walls tell a different story. Raw images of human survival, of beauty in devastation. International critics have been calling it groundbreaking, emotionally devastating, technically perfect. Daniel stands beside her as guests arrive, his hand occasionally brushing her lower back in a gesture that's become familiar. They haven't labelled what they are. More than colleagues, not quite lovers. The first hour is a blur of handshakes and compliments. She's talking to a German collector when she feels it, that shift in air pressure that means someone's watching her. She turns and her whole world tilts sideways because Lee Min-ho is standing 20 feet away, perfectly still among the crowd, staring at her like she's a ghost. He looks different. Thinner maybe, or just tired. Dark circles under his eyes that weren't there before. Somehow he looks smaller than she remembers. Time stops. The gallery fades. 3 months of healing crack under the weight of his presence, and suddenly she's back on that Seoul rooftop, heartbreaking. Daniel follows her gaze, sees Min-ho, and understands instantly. That's him, Daniel says, not a question. Min-ho starts walking toward her through the crowd, his eyes never leaving her face. He stops in front of her, and for a long moment neither of them speaks. Ophelia. Her name in his mouth sounds like a prayer. I came to see your exhibition. Her voice comes out colder than she intended. And what do you think? I think you've become who you were always meant to be. He's looking at the photographs now. I think you survived without me. Thrived without me. I did. She's aware of Daniel standing close, protective. Was there something you needed, Minho? He flinches. I came because I ended the engagement. The floor drops out from under her. What? 3 weeks ago, I walked away from the merger, from Jisoo, from everything my father built. His voice is steady, but she can hear the cost. I chose wrong. I've spent every day since that rooftop regretting it. Daniel steps closer, his hand finding her lower back. I think you should leave. Minho looks at Daniel properly for the first time and processes the protective touch, the casual intimacy. His face does something complicated. You're with him. I'm building a life, Ophelia says. Something I should have done years ago instead of waiting for you to see me. I saw you. Minho's voice cracks. I've always seen you. I was just too much of a coward. But I'm here now. I destroyed my father's company. I absorbed 300 million in debt. I burned every bridge because you were right. You were right about everything. Congratulations. She makes the word sound like an insult. Do you want a medal? I want a chance to explain. There's nothing to explain. You made your choice when it mattered. Now I've made mine. She leans into Daniel deliberately, watching Minho's face. I hope you find whatever you're looking for. But it's not me. Not anymore. She walks away before he can respond, Daniel following close behind. She pushes through the gallery crowd to a small office in the back, closes the door, and only then does she let herself breathe. I need a minute, she tells Daniel. Take all the time you need. But he doesn't leave, just leans against the wall. Are you okay? I don't know. She pulls out her phone, searches Lee Minho merger cancelled. The articles confirm everything. The engagement ended 3 weeks ago. Lee Technologies filed for bankruptcy. Chairman Lee had a heart attack. Minho personally absorbed the company's debt. He destroyed everything. For her. 3 months too late. You still love him. Daniel's voice is carefully neutral. I don't know what I feel. But that's a lie. She knows exactly what she feels. I meant what I said 3 months ago. I'm in love with you. But I won't be someone's second choice. I won't be the safe option while you figure out if you can forgive him. You're not. I am. He smiles, but it doesn't reach his eyes. And that's okay. I knew what I was signing up for. He pushes off the wall. Go talk to him. Find out what you really want. I'll be here if you need me. But I won't wait forever. He leaves and she's alone with her phone and the image of Minho standing among her photographs, understanding finally what it cost her to become whole. She doesn't go after Daniel. She goes home and opens a bottle of wine and stares at her phone for 3 hours trying to decide what to do. In the end, she does nothing, just drinks the wine and goes to bed. For a week, Minho haunts her gallery. The staff tells her he comes every day around noon, stands in front of her photographs for an hour, never approaching. On day 8, a letter arrives, hand-delivered. The envelope is plain, expensive, her name written in Minho's careful handwriting. The letter is 3 pages, single-spaced, no greeting or signature, just words pouring out. I don't expect forgiveness, but you deserve truth. 3 years ago, my father's company was failing. Bankruptcy within 6 months. The Kim merger was the only option. Your mother's partnership depended on my engagement to Jisoo. I thought I was being noble, but I just sacrificed us. You asked if there was anything worth fighting for. The answer was you. It's always been you. At 8 when you fell off your bike. At 16 when your father died. I fell in love with you somewhere between age 8 and forever. I just didn't have the courage. I'm not asking you to take me back. I'm asking you to let me prove I've changed. You don't need me. But that doesn't mean I won't fight for you. I'll wait as long as it takes. Forever if necessary. She reads it 17 times, cries through 6 of them. On day 10, she texts him. One word. Rooftop. They meet on the roof of her apartment building at 8 p.m. The Barcelona skyline spread out below them. Minho arrives early, nervous. "You came," he says when she appears. "You've been haunting my gallery for 10 days. We need to talk. I know I have no right." "Then don't ask." She moves to the railing. "Tell me why. Not the business reasons. Tell me why you let me believe we had a chance when you'd already signed contracts. Why you never gave me the choice to walk away before it destroyed me." The silence stretches long. Then, "Because I'm a coward. Because I wanted to keep you in my life even if I couldn't have you the way I wanted. I thought if I kept business and personal separate, somehow it wouldn't be real. Somehow I could have both." He moves beside her. "I was wrong. I see everything I destroyed by being too afraid to choose. You were engaged for 3 years. How am I supposed to trust anything you say now?" "You're not." His voice is rough. "I don't trust myself. I made the wrong choice at every turn. I have no defense except that I'm trying to be different now. I walked away from everything to prove it." She turns to face him fully. "And if I can't forgive you? If the damage is too deep?" "Then I'll live with that. But at least I'll know I tried." He pulls something from his pocket. The bracelet. "I kept this, carried it every day, a reminder of what I lost." She stares at the delicate gold chain, remembering the girl who wore it daily. That girl feels like a stranger now. "I don't need that anymore," she says. "I needed you to choose me when it mattered, and you didn't. Now you've chosen me after losing everything else, and I don't know if that counts. What do you need?" His voice cracks. "Tell me what you need, and I'll do it." "I need time." The words surprise her, but they feel true. "I need to figure out if I can trust you again, to know that you love me for me, not because you burned your life down and I'm all that's left." "How much time?" "I don't know. Maybe forever." He nods slowly, accepting it. "Then I'll wait forever." He puts the bracelet back in his pocket. "I'll wait as long as it takes." They stand there in the Barcelona night, two people who loved each other wrong trying to figure out if they can love each other right. 3 months pass like a held breath. Minho gets an apartment in Barcelona, takes a job at a small tech startup for a fraction of his previous salary. He doesn't push, doesn't demand, just exists in her orbit, patient in a way she never expected. They have coffee sometimes, talk about work and art and nothing important. She watches him adjust to being nobody, watches him learn humility, and sees how it changes him, makes him easier to love than the confident CEO she fell for at 16. Daniel keeps his distance but stays in her life, professional and kind and clearly waiting. They take walks through the Gothic quarter, Minho telling her about his smaller life, how strange it feels to take the metro instead of having a driver. She photographs him sometimes when he's not paying attention, captures the way he's changed, and is surprised to find she likes this version of him better. Sometimes they talk about soul, about his father who won't speak to him, who had another heart attack when the company declared bankruptcy. About her mother who sends cold emails asking when she'll stop this phase. Neither of them plans to go home. On a Thursday in late autumn, Daniel asks her to dinner, and she knows before he speaks that this is decision time. "I'm leaving Barcelona," he says over wine. "New York assignment. Long term. They want me to head up the international desk." Her heart sinks. "Congratulations. That's incredible. Come with me." His eyes are serious. "Not because I'm asking you to choose. Come because National Geographic wants you in New York too. I can't leave right now. Because of him. Not a question. Ophelia, I love you. But I'm done loving you more than you love yourself. I'm done watching you punish yourself with this redemption arc." He takes her hand. "I fell in love with the idea of saving you. But you're not broken anymore. You healed yourself. And I realize I fell in love with saving you, not who you are when you don't need saving." Tears stream down her face. "I'm sorry. I know. That's what makes this hard. You've been honest from the beginning. I'm the one who thought I could change your mind." He squeezes her hand, then lets go. Go talk to him. Really talk. Figure out if you can forgive him. Make a choice. You deserve to be happy, even if it's not with me. He leaves and she sits there crying, and she knows Daniel is right about everything, knows it's time to choose. She texts Minho. Can we talk? Now? 30 minutes later, he's at her door, out of breath, his hair messed up from running. What happened? Are you okay? She pulls him inside. I need to know something. Complete honesty. Do you love me because of who I am or because of what loving me costs you? Because you destroyed your empire, and I'm the reason, and I need to know if you're in love with me or in love with the sacrifice. He sits heavily, runs both hands through his hair. I fell in love with you when we were 16, and you were crying on a roof, and you told me you didn't want to hear about heaven. You said you just wanted someone to sit with you while the world felt broken. And I thought, this is the bravest person I've ever met. That's not an answer. I'm getting there. He looks up at her. I loved you for 19 years before I destroyed anything. Through your university graduation and my father's heart attacks and every coffee date where I should have said something and didn't. I loved you when you worked at your mother's company in a job you hated. I loved you every single day, and I was too much of a coward to risk what we had for what we could be. So you do love me? I'm in love with you. Present tense. Not because of what it cost me, but despite what it cost me? The empire burning down just showed me I was willing to lose everything except you. But I loved you first. I loved you before I had anything to lose. She sits beside him, their knees almost touching. I don't know if I can trust that. Then let me prove it. With time. With showing up every day. He turns to face her fully. I'm asking if you think someday you might be able to forgive me. If there's a version of the future where we get it right. She thinks about Daniel leaving for New York, about Seoul and her mother and the life she ran from, about Minho learning humility, building a smaller life because she's in it. I don't want to punish you, she says quietly, but I don't know if I'm ready to forgive you either. I'm somewhere in between, and I don't know how long I'll be here. Then I'll meet you in between. I'll wait in the in-between as long as you need. Something inside her chest cracks open, some last piece of armor falling away. She leans forward slowly, watching his face, and kisses him. It's soft and tentative and nothing like the desperate passion of their youth. It's careful, uncertain, testing if this can work. He doesn't grab her or deepen it, just kisses her back with the same careful gentleness, like she's something precious he's afraid of breaking. When they pull apart, his eyes are shining. What does this mean? It means I'm trying. It means I can't promise forever, but I can promise today. It means you have to be patient with me because I'm still figuring out how to trust you again. I can do patient. He brushes a curl away from her face. I can do whatever you need. 3 more months pass, and against all odds, Ophelia and Minho figure out how to be together. Not the way they were before. Something new. Something real. Coffee dates that turn into dinners. Walks that turn into photography expeditions where she teaches him to see light the way she does. Conversations about childhood and trauma and the people they want to become. Her work gets picked up by major publications. National Geographic does a feature spread. The New York Times runs a profile. And through it all, Minho is there. Supportive but not possessive. Proud but not threatened. He's different from the man on the Seoul rooftop. Humbler. More present. More real. I have something for you, he says one evening, as they walk through the Museum of Contemporary Art, Barcelona. They're here for a private viewing, just the two of them after hours. He leads her to a small gallery room she hasn't seen before, and when she walks in, her breath catches, because the walls are covered with photographs, but not hers. His. Terrible amateur, clearly taken by someone with no formal training. But the subjects are unmistakable. Her. Hundreds of photos of her over the years, at university graduations, at coffee shops, working late, laughing, looking out windows, a visual diary of someone falling in love over 2 decades, documented in secret. When did you take these? Her voice comes out choked. Starting when we were 16. I bought a camera after your father died. Thought maybe if I learned photography I could understand you better. I was terrible at it. He gestures at the poorly composed images. But I kept taking them. Because even when I was too afraid to tell you I loved you, I needed proof it was real. In the center of the room is a single image blown up huge. It's from 3 months ago, from her Barcelona rooftop, taken from below at an angle that makes her look powerful, transcendent, complete. This is who you are now, he says, standing beside her, looking up at her own image. This is who you became when you stopped waiting for me, and I'm so fucking proud of you I can barely breathe. She's crying and doesn't care. Minho, I'm not done. He pulls something from his pocket, and for a second she thinks it's the bracelet again, but it's smaller, a ring, simple and elegant, with a small camera lens detail built into the band. This is made from your first camera, the one you had when you were 8. I had a jeweler incorporate a piece of the lens. He gets down on one knee right there in the gallery, surrounded by terrible photographs of her, surrounded by evidence of love documented over decades. I should have done this on that rooftop in Seoul, but I'm doing it now. Ophelia Camille Ashford, you don't need me to be complete. You're extraordinary all by yourself. But if you'll let me, I'd like to spend the rest of my life being part of your story. Will you marry me? Her mouth opens to answer, and suddenly the gallery alarm starts screaming. The sound is deafening, violent, completely wrong. Minho's on his feet immediately, pulling her toward the exit, but smoke is already billowing in from the main gallery, thick and black and moving fast. Someone is screaming. Multiple someones. The sprinkler system kicks in, water spraying everywhere, ruining her photographs, his photographs, everything. We have to get out, Minho shouts over the alarm. Now. They run toward the main gallery, but the smoke is thicker here, disorienting. Ophelia can barely see 2 feet ahead. She trips over something, goes down hard, her hands scraping against marble. Minho hauls her up, keeps moving, keeps pulling her toward where he thinks the exit should be. Then they see the flames. Real fire, not just smoke, eating through the gallery's east wing with terrifying speed. People are panicking, running in all directions, security trying to establish order but failing. The beautiful gallery has become chaos. Ophelia's photographer instincts kick in despite everything. She's looking for exits, for patterns in the chaos, for ways to help. That's when she sees the woman. She's collapsed near the fire source, unconscious or dead, will definitely be trampled by the panicking crowd if someone doesn't move her. Ophelia doesn't think, just acts, pulling away from Minho and running toward the woman instead of away from danger. Ophelia, no! Minho's voice is raw with terror, but she's already there trying to lift the woman, and God, she's heavy, dead weight, and Ophelia can't move her alone. The smoke is overwhelming now. She's coughing so hard she can't breathe. The heat from the flames is incredible, even from 20 feet away. Then Minho is there because of course he is, because he'd follow her into anything. I can't carry both of you, he shouts. The exit's that way, we have to move now. Above them, something groans. They both look up. A support beam, weakened by fire, starting to give way. Go, Ophelia coughs. Get her out. I'm not leaving you. You have to. She shoves him toward the unconscious woman. I'll be right behind you. It's a lie, and they both know it. The beam is seconds from collapse. If he doesn't move now, they'll all die. If he takes the woman and runs, at least she'll survive. His face does something terrible, something she'll remember forever if she lives through this. Then he's lifting the woman, throwing her over his shoulder in a fireman's carry and running for the exit. Ophelia tries to follow, but the beam gives way with a crack like thunder, and suddenly she's pinned, her left leg trapped under debris, pain so intense she almost blacks out. She screams Minho's name, but he's already gone, already outside with the woman. She can hear sirens now, fire trucks, ambulances. Help is coming, but maybe not fast enough. She thinks about Daniel in New York, her mother in Seoul, her photographs burning. Minho on one knee asking her to marry him. The answer she never got to give. The smoke is too thick to see through now. She's getting dizzy, her vision blurring. This is how it ends, she thinks with strange clarity. Not in Syria or some war zone, but in an art gallery in Barcelona, pinned under a beam while photographs of herself burn around her. She doesn't remember losing consciousness. Minho reaches the street with the woman still over his shoulder, passes her to paramedics, and immediately tries to run back into the gallery. 3 firefighters tackle him, physically restrain him as he fights and screams and begs them to let him go because Ophelia is still inside. She's still in there. He left her. "Sir, you can't go back in. The structure's unstable." "I don't care." He's sobbing now, fighting with everything he has. "She's in there. She told me to go. She's still inside, please." They hold him back as firefighters in full gear enter the building. Minutes pass like hours. The smoke is impossible now, flames visible through windows. The gallery is dying, burning, taking everything with it. Then movement at the entrance. Firefighters emerging with a stretcher between them. A body covered with a sheet. Minho stops fighting, goes completely still, and the firefighters release him because what's the point? He walks toward the stretcher like a man in a dream. His hands are shaking so badly he can barely pull back the sheet, but he has to know, has to see, has to confirm his worst fear. But it's not Ophelia. It's a man. Gallery security guard, dead from smoke inhalation. "There's another survivor," someone shouts, and Minho spins as more firefighters emerge, this time carrying someone actively fighting them, coughing and cursing and very much alive. Ophelia. She's covered in soot and blood, her left leg clearly injured, but she's alive. She's screaming at the firefighters to let her go, to let her photograph this, that people need to see what happened. Classic Ophelia, nearly dying and still thinking about the story. Minho reaches her as the firefighters set her stretcher down. "You're alive." "Oh my God, you're alive." She focuses on him through obvious pain. "The ring. Did you drop the ring?" He looks down at his hand. The ring is gone. Must have fallen when he was lifting the woman or fighting firefighters or any of the 1,000 panicked moments of the last 10 minutes. "I don't care about the ring." He's crying again, doesn't bother hiding it. "You're alive. Nothing else matters." "I was going to say yes," she tells him as paramedics start loading her into an ambulance. "When you asked, I was going to say yes. Then ask me again later." He tries to smile through tears. "When we're not covered in soot and surrounded by burning buildings." "I'll wait." They load her into the ambulance and he tries to climb in after her, but one of the paramedics stops him. "Family only." "I'm her fiancé," he lies automatically. The paramedic looks at Ophelia, who nods weakly. "He is. Let him come." As the ambulance pulls away, sirens wailing, Minho holds Ophelia's hand and tries not to think about how close he came to losing her, how for those minutes, when she was trapped inside, he felt his entire world ending, how nothing matters, not companies or mergers or empires or pride, nothing matters except this woman breathing beside him. That's when he notices the woman he saved, the one being loaded into a different ambulance. She's conscious now, looking at him with an expression he can't read. Recognition, maybe. Something else. Something complicated. One of the paramedics is talking to her. "Mom, do you know who you were with? Is there someone we should call?" The woman's eyes are still on Minho. "I know him," she says, loud enough for Minho to hear over the chaos. "Lee Minho. I'd know him anywhere." Minho stares at her, trying to place the face through the oxygen mask and soot. She's maybe 30 Korean, something familiar about her eyes, but he can't quite. "You don't remember me, do you?" The woman pulls off her oxygen mask despite protests from paramedics. 10 years ago. University. One night after exams, too much soju. You probably don't even remember my name." Cold dread starts spreading through Minho's chest. "Sarah Chen," the woman says. "We spent one night together. You were drunk. I was drunk. We both forgot about it by morning. She gestures to someone Minho hadn't noticed before, a kid standing near the ambulance, maybe 9 or 10 years old, with Minho's exact eyes, his exact nose, unmistakably his child. But I didn't forget about what came after. The world stops. Everything stops. Minho can't breathe, can't think, can't process what he's hearing, because this can't be real. This has to be shock or hallucination or some kind of cosmic joke. "This is Kim J," Sarah says, introducing the boy who is obviously, undeniably Minho's son. Your son. Our son. From that night 10 years ago. Minho's legs give out. He sits heavily on the curb, staring at this child, this impossible child, while behind him the gallery burns and somewhere in an ambulance Ophelia is being treated for injuries she got because he made her wait, made her doubt, made her question if he could choose her first. And now this bomb exploding in the wreckage of what was supposed to be their new beginning. A reporter is already approaching, camera rolling. By tomorrow this will be everywhere. Ophelia will know before he can explain. Everyone will know. The engagement ring he lost in the fire suddenly feels prophetic, like the universe trying to tell him something he refused to hear. He thinks about Ophelia's face when she said she was going to say yes, thinks about her trapped under that beam because she ran toward danger instead of away, because that's who she is, brave and reckless and alive. Thinks about 6 months of careful rebuilding, of earning back trust, of proving he'd changed. All of it about to crumble because of one night 10 years ago he doesn't even remember. Sarah Chen is still talking, but Minho can't hear her anymore over the roaring in his ears. The kid, Jay, is watching him with those familiar eyes, waiting for some kind of reaction, some acknowledgement. Minho's phone buzzes. A text from the hospital. "Ms. Ashford is asking for you." He looks at the burning gallery, at Sarah Chen and the impossible child, at his phone, and he has absolutely no idea what to do. If you're watching this and your heart is in pieces right now, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment telling me whether you think Ophelia should forgive him or if this is the final straw. And smash that like button because this story isn't over. Part 2 is coming, and trust me, you're not ready for what happens next. Is Ophelia alive, or will her injuries be worse than we think? Did Minho really not know about his son? And who the hell started that fire? Welcome to the in-between. Welcome to the mess. Welcome to what happens when second chances collide with old secrets and everything you thought you knew catches fire. See you in part 2.